Hello ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to Evolving Consciousness. I am your host Purushottam, and in today's video we are going to discuss about the top 3 lessons from a story which probably you have heard or probably you haven't heard, but this story is coming from Srimad Bhagavatam. This story is about Prahlad Maharaj and his interactions with Lord Narsingha. I thought on the occasion of Narsingh Chaturdashi, the lessons which you and me can learn from Prahlad Maharaj would serve us a lot. Because let's understand the epitome of Srimad Bhagavatam. The kind of knowledge which is being elaborated in Srimad Bhagavatam, people of spiritual thought process and spiritualists in general say that if you consider Bhagavad Gita as an undergraduate degree, Srimad Bhagavatam is like the postgraduate degree in spirituality. Now, the story of Prahlad Maharaj is an excerpt from one of the cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, and I will sort of narrate the story of what Prahlad Maharaj, who Prahlad Maharaj was, and what are the conditions through which he sort of navigated his life, and what did he eventually achieve. And in the process of achieving it, what are those striking qualities of Prahlad Maharaj which you and me can learn from. Now, to begin with, to give you some context, Prahlad Maharaj was basically born in the lineage of Asuras. Or to put it simply, people of a demonic lineage in general. Right? So, he was not born in a spiritual family. He was born in a family where demonic nature was natural and spirituality was something completely alien to them and was something completely opposite to their school of thought. But Prahlad Maharaj had this natural inquisitiveness towards God and towards spirituality in general. Now, there is a background story as to why Prahlad Maharaj had these tendencies. We won't go into that, but to give you a very base background, it is said that Narad Muni, who is considered to be an ardent devotee of Lord Vishnu, had given a certain mantra to the mother of Prahlad Maharaj and had told her to continuously repeat that mantra so that this particular consciousness of devotion is sort of automatically coming in her son. Now, this is a particular leela which sort of Lord orchestrated. But there are countless lessons which we can learn from Prahlad Maharaj, who is considered as one of the Mahajans. Mahajan is a title which is given to someone who is considered to be immortal. And Prahlad Maharaj is considered to be the closest devotee of Lord Vishnu. Now, you might be thinking that this video is going to only encompass on the topic of devotion and spirituality. But before you draw that conclusion, let me humbly tell you that it's not only going to encompass about spirituality, it is also going to give you top 3 lessons as to what we can learn from Prahlad Maharaj and apply that even in our material dimension. Now, as I mentioned, Prahlad Maharaj was born in a lineage of Asuras, a demonic and a lineage of people with Asuric tendencies. His father was called Hiranyakashipu. Now, Hiranyakashipu was a man filled with all demonic qualities. He was egoistic, he was lusty, he was greedy. All the bad qualities you can think of in a particular person was sort of manifesting in Hiranyakashipu. And when Prahlad Maharaj, he was naturally having this inclination of devotion towards the Lord, and he always was somewhat looking different from all the Asuric population. And one thing to note here is, no matter what his circumstances were, he continuously strived for his devotion. He continuously followed his heart. Now, this is the number 1 lesson which you and me can learn from this Mahajan, from the great Prahlad Maharaj, which is that stop blaming the circumstances, stop blaming your parentage, your ancestral history, the reasons as to why you are not able to do something, stop blaming it in the environment. Now, as soon as you hear this, I know some of you might come up with a lot of resistances as to probably you don't know my situation. I want to give you a real life story. I want to share with you a real life story which will probably give you a different perspective to view things. Now, this is a story of two boys who were born in extremely downtrodden conditions. Their father was a drunkard, and the situation of their house was so adverse that they barely could make needs end. Survival was a difficult thing for them. Now, 20 years later, one of the boy in that family turns out to become a hugely successful businessman, and he becomes a billionaire of repute. And the other person, this another brother, is still living in the same slum. Now, you might be thinking, what am I trying to say? Now, when an interviewer asked this billionaire, the person who had a rag to riches story, as to, sir, you were born in such downtrodden conditions, and we can see your brother, your elder brother, staying in the same slum while you have come into such opulent surroundings. And the person told the journalist that, madam, I looked at the conditions of my family, I looked at the conduct of my father, and I told myself that what are the ways in which I am not going to lead my life like. My father taught me how not to be. Whereas the other person, his elder brother, always blamed his father for his miserable conditions. Now, this is the difference. This is the difference between the mindsets of these two people who were in the same environment, but one person became a lotus in the dirty mud of that downtrodden slum conditions. But the other person chose to become the mud inside that slum and downtrodden conditions. Now, this is a beautiful example to glorify and substantiate the immense power of human choice. How we sort of build a story, what story are you telling yourself about a particular situation is ours to choose. We can always crib and play the victim card and say why we can't do something. Or we can choose to act as a leader and follow our heart. Prahlad Maharaj, the great devotee of Lord Vishnu, followed his heart, and no matter what the outside circumstances told him, let's understand one thing. Prahlad Maharaj was a very small kid. He was a 5-year-old kid, and when all the people around him told him against his beliefs and values, he stuck to his values and beliefs. Now, there is another very intricate lesson for you and me, that when the society is trying to sell you a certain conditioning, certain school of thought, you need to ask yourself whether that school of thought resonates with your authentic self. And if the answer is no, completely reject that school of thought. Because there is only one person you need to be true to, and that one person is you yourself. Because most of us are not living the life we want to. We are living the life that society thinks is a right life for us to live. Now, this is going to be a very difficult thought process to digest, but probably most of us don't even realize that we are being so much hijacked by the conditioning of society. But Prahlad Maharaj did not let himself being hijacked by the conditioning of society. He followed his heart, and his heart told him to engage in the relentless devotion of Lord Vishnu. And that's what he did. Now, a beautiful excerpt of his life was that Hiranyakashipu did everything possible to torture this young kid. He put him into countless amount of painful circumstances. He even tried to kill him many times. Being a father, he could not resist, and he could not take it that a person who he considers to be his ardent enemy, Lord Vishnu himself, his son is engaging in relentless devotion to him. So he did everything possible, everything in his power to kill him. But Lord Vishnu always had that shelter of protection to young Prahlad because his devotion was pure and unalloyed. Now, why am I talking about this aspect? Oftentimes, when we set goals in life or when we have dreams in life, until we have a sense of devotion, until we have a sense of a relentless faith towards ourselves or towards that cosmic intelligence, we will never be able to kill our inner demons of doubt and fear. Now, Hiranyakashipu can be considered as our own inner demons. It can be taken as a metamorphical representation of our own inner demons. Our inner demons are doubt, fears, insecurities. And these are our impediments. These sort of stop us from striving to reach our goals. And what is the way? What is the way through which we can completely assassinate that Hiranyakashipu? The way is having this unalloyed sense of devotion towards your cause or towards that cosmic intelligence. I am reminded of a beautiful story which happened in the Mahabharata. Now, Lord Krishna, when he came to know that Bhishma Pitama, who is considered as the most valiant warriors, the most powerful and valiant warriors in the entire narrative of Mahabharata, when he announced that by the next sunset, I am going to assassinate Arjuna. Lord Krishna, though he was a god, he was completely petrified because he knew the caliber of the great Bhishma Pitama. So he rushes down, he rushes towards the tent where Arjuna was taking a nap. Arjuna was relaxing. And he goes and tells Arjun that, Arjun, do you know what happened? Arjuna just says, no, I don't know, please tell me. He says, Bhishma has announced that by tomorrow, the sunset of tomorrow, I will assassinate Arjun. After he tells this to Arjun, Arjun just smiles at Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna is absolutely baffled as to why is Arjun laughing as he lost it. And Arjun tells Krishna that, Krishna, I know that you are on my side, and when you are on my side, I don't see a reason to worry. I don't see a reason to be anxious. Now, what this story is trying to tell us, it's trying to tell us a couple of things. It's trying to tell us this particular aspect of surrender and an unclenching faith towards that cosmic intelligence or towards a higher purpose in life, which sort of serves as an instrumental way in our success. Because if you look at any person who has done anything of value or any person who has been successful, the number one quality you will find common in all of them is they had this limitless amount of faith. They say faith can move mountains, but faith can not only move mountains, but faith can assassinate those inner demons. Now, the story so progresses that Hiranyakashipu is completely pissed off from Prahlada. All his attempts to kill Prahlada is in vain. And he asked Prahlad that what is the source of your supernatural powers? And Prahlad Maharaj gives a lot of respect to his father and he says, the source of my powers is same as source of your powers. All our powers are coming from the cosmic intelligence, Lord Vishnu. Now Hiranyakashipu is more pissed off, and now he sets about a mission. He sort of takes about this. He is completely pissed off from this relentless commitment and this relentless adoration of Lord Vishnu which is coming out from the lips of Prahlad Maharaj. And in frustration he asks him, where is your Lord Vishnu? Show it to me. And Prahlad Maharaj says that Lord Vishnu is everywhere. It depends on where you see it. Now he gets even more pissed off and he says, okay, then show me where is Lord Vishnu in this stamba. Stamba means a pillar. So there was a pillar in this palace, right? So when he says, Lord, he is in this stamba as well, then immediately Lord Narsimha manifests out of it to sort of prove the conviction of Prahlad Maharaj. Now, oftentimes when we have such a relentless commitment, a relentless devotion to our cause, results are bound to manifest. Lord Narasimha can be thought about as the grace of God, or it can also be thought about the results which we achieve in our life. When we have this relentless devotion towards a purpose, towards any goal, and no matter what your current 3D reality is, you don't accept the negative aspects of it, but deep within you follow your instinct, you follow your heart, no matter what the world tells you. Lord Narasimha, the grace of God, is bound to manifest. And when Lord Narasimha incarnates, he kills, he slaughters Hiranyakashipu. He slaughters him in the exact way which will qualify the requirements of his boon. Now we won't go into the technical details of what Hiranyakashipu's boons were, but Lord Vishnu is extremely intelligent. He brought about such a narrative to kill Hiranyakashipu that there is no one more intelligent than him. He had a sort of a boon which told him that he cannot be killed by a man or an animal. He cannot be killed in day and night. He cannot be killed in sky or land. So he creates a situation, Lord Narasimha creates a situation where all the requirements of the boon which was given by Lord Brahma to Hiranyakashipu were met, but he still was killed. Now my purpose behind sharing this story of Lord Narasimha and Prahlad Maharaj was to bring about focus on the power of faith, devotion to a purpose which is higher than yourself, to sort of reject the conditioning of the environment, of society, and to follow your own heart. Because eventually that is what is going to matter, the relationship which you have with yourself. So to give you a quick recap as to what are the lessons, what are the top 3 lessons which you and me can learn from. So number 1 is stop blaming the environment and stop being a victim of your environment. Number 2 is to devote completely to your goals with absolute sense of unalloyed faith. And number 3, when you do this, you are automatically slaughtering or assassinating those inner demons of doubts and insecurities. Hope my today's video was of value to you. Hope my today's video brought about a fresh sense, brought about a fresh perspective, and sort of made you feel the immense importance of having faith and a sense of surrender to that cosmic intelligence. Thank you so much for your time on my video, and I'll meet you in the next video. Bye.